Hey weirdos, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm so glad you're here. Look at all this stuff. I cannot. Gellen reached out, wanted me to try their products and sponsor a video. Thank you so much to Gellen. They sent over literally so much stuff. And if you want to talk about value, y'all just wait. They did send over both these kits for me to try out. I'm going to try their dip powders with their gel liquids. I'm going to use their lamp. You should see all the nail art stuff they sent over. I'll leave everything down in the box in case you want to check it out for yourself. But seriously, the amount of product you're getting for these price points is literally insane. If you really want to add to your collection with a whole massive amount of stuff, including if you need a gel lamp, this is where you want to be. So everything will be linked down below, but we're going to get into it. I haven't done dip powder with gel liquids in a hot minute, so I'm going to. Here are the gel liquids, the base and the top. I'm going to use 5 different powders. These are all pastel. They're all gorgeous. And I got to tell you, I reached out back to Gellen as soon as I filmed this just to let them know these were the easiest pastels I have ever worked with. I had literally 0 issues, and especially for using them with gel liquids, which can be a little tricky, especially with pastels. I had not one single problem. These are absolutely beautiful. The pigmentation, the quality, I'm literally obsessed. I don't know how I haven't tried this sooner. Here's the consistency of the gel. It is a thicker consistency, which I actually really like. I find the thicker consistency liquids are really great, especially for beginners. They really help you to prevent flooding your cuticles and your sidewall area when you're applying these liquids. So we're going to jump into it. Here's my roadmap for you guys. I wanted to try out as many colors as I could. I only have 5 fingers on one hand, so we're doing 5. But I'm going to do 2 full coats of each color. I'm only going to show you the first, and then I'll show you what it looks like in 1 coat and what it looks like in 2 coats. So you can see the whole thing without sitting here for 45 minutes. So as you can see, I'm applying the gel liquid to the nail. It is going on so beautifully, so smooth. It's not moving. It sits where you place it, which I so appreciate. So I'm going to put this all over the nail, starting with my thumb, and I'm going to pour over. I have found in my own experience, pouring over when you're using gel liquids is so important. I know there are some people who are comfortable dipping into powder with gel base on their nail. I don't know what kind of sorcery they're using. Good for them. I can't do it. I'm too paranoid. I'm going to move the gel. It's going to wrinkle. I'm going to have to file and remove and all the things. So I'm going to pour over. I'm using a cupcake liner to do that. Tap off excess. Look how pigmented on the first pour over. I was a little shooketh. A lot shooketh. I'm going to clean up the cuticle area, which didn't really require a whole lot of anything because those gels are so beautifully thick. They're not super thin. They're not going to flood your cuticles as long as you're applying it in moderation. Again, with any liquid you're going to use to do a dip powder nails, less is more. You don't want to glob this stuff on or it's going to literally run everywhere. So here's what it looks like in 1 coat. I'm going to go ahead and cure it in the Gellen lamp. I did about 45 seconds to be on the safe side. The lamp is a 72 watt, which is amazing. I love the lamp, by the way. The Gellen lamp, which you're going to see me pull over because I realized it was out of sight. There it is. You'll see more of her in a little bit. I will be using this lamp for the foreseeable future. I really like it. It did a great job of curing. I had literally no problems. So moving on, the second color. This is my second favorite color. You're going to be surprised at my number 1 fave. It's not the green. I do like the green. I am going to use the green, but you'll see. I'll tell you about my favorite color here in a minute. But this color, this peachy orange pastel moment, definitely one of my faves. So beautiful. And again, you're going to see just how it applies in 1 coat, how it applies in 2. I really couldn't believe how easy these were to work with. If you've worked with pastels, let me know down below what kind of experience you've had with different pastels. I've had some good ones, but I've also had some really difficult ones. You know, those dip manicures where you have to literally dip 6 times just to get it opaque across the entire nail and then file the hell out of it later. Yeah, I've been there. These, literally no problems. Look how beautifully pigmented and smooth. These are very buttery. They're very creamy. I love the texture and the consistency. They're not dense. You don't have to worry about ledges or mountains or anything like that. I would highly recommend these if you are in the market to add to your collection. And here's what we are looking like. I'm going to dust up excess. You may notice I'm using a stiff scrubby brush to remove excess. I highly recommend this, especially if you're using gel liquids. You can do it if you're using dip liquids too, but with gel liquids, this is a great way to get every speck of excess powder off your nail so you don't contaminate your gel liquid brush later. So one coat, I'm going to show you 2 coats. Well, that's 2 coats. This is my fave. I can't believe I'm saying it. I'm not a purple person at all, but this lavender-y, periwinkle-ish, purpley color literally stole my whole entire heart. It's very rare that I find a purple that has the undertone and the depth that I like from my skin tone. This was it. I can see myself reaching for this color for so many spring and summer, even all year round, if I'm being honest. Just look at how beautiful. And wait till you see me tap off excess. I'll move the cupcake liner away so you can see it against a darker background, because I realize it's hard to see over white. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Y'all, I can't believe I haven't tried this sooner. I've known about Gellen for a long time. I may or may not have used some of their gel polishes in the past, but these dip powders, I'm pretty impressed. And wait till you see the finished look. They're absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up around my sidewalls and my cuticle area. Give this another 45-second cure, and we're going to move on to the blue. So I did my second coat of the purple. That's what it looks like in 2 coats. We're moving on to the blue. Y'all know I'm a blue person. I love all things blue, and this was no exception. This is definitely more of a like turquoisey teal blue, but still so beautiful. There was an actual blue that I wanted to use, but I don't know. Something about this blue particularly just made more sense in the entire manicure. I don't know. I don't know why I'm like this. Are you guys that way too? I don't know. Anyway, 0 complaints. Again, I have nothing bad to say. I literally have 0 bad to say. And for the record, speaking of things to say, not to say, Gellen paid me to show their products. That is all. They're not paying me to say literally anything. If I ever don't like something, y'all know I'm going to shoot it to you straight. This, I literally have no complaints. Super simple. This was one of the faster manis that I've done. And if we want to talk about how I filed it and shaped it later, I'm sure, as you can see, there's very little filing that needs to be done. And most of that is attributed to the gel liquids being the perfect consistency and the dip powders just behaving so beautifully. I had no filing to do. I literally cleaned up my shape, which took literally 2 seconds, and then I buffed the nail. I didn't do any filing. No hard filing. This whole thing was such a quick process, especially with gel liquids. I don't just sit there and wait for anything to dry. You cure it and you're done and you move on. Super quick, super painless, and super gorgeous. I couldn't ask for anything more. So there's the blue in 2 coats. And now we're going to move on to the green. And okay, so at first glance, the green in the jar, I was not sure about. But once I get it on the nail, you're going to see just how gorgeous she really is. So here's the green in 2 full coats. I don't know why I love this green so much. I want to do a full manicure in just that green. It's like the perfect mint chocolate chip. Absolutely love it. So now that I have all the nails done, normally you would want to encapsulate, right? But when you're using gel liquids, you don't want to use clear. Clear dip powder / acrylic doesn't really jive with gel liquids. It can be very grainy looking or bubbly or cloudy. So I like to use gel base to encapsulate. If for some reason you feel like you need to do a little bit more filing, do a gel base, then a gel top, and then file. I didn't really require a whole lot of filing at all, as mentioned, so I'm just going to use the gel base to encapsulate, protect that pigment for when I do buff over the nail, and I'm going to cure the entire hand for 30 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and file and buff off camera, but if you want to see how I do my filing and buffing routine, I'll leave that video up in the cards for you guys to check out. I'm going to come back. We're going to top coat. I'll talk to you about the gel top coat, which you're going to see is so juicy and glossy, and you'll see the finished look. So here's the filed manicure. As you saw, I should have mentioned it, but I didn't because I'm me. I did clean off the tacky layer from the base with some alcohol just so my file didn't get gunked up with that tack after, curing the gel base. So make sure you take off the sticky layer of your base gel before you go to file. Now I'm going to get in with the top coat. This is, again, the Gellen No Cleanse Gel Top Coat. It's so beautifully glossy and perfect, and it levels just beautiful. It's the same consistency as the gel base, so it's nice and thick, and it levels so nicely. I'm going to cure that for a full minute. And my final thoughts on this dip kit. Here's the finished look. Look at the gloss. Can you even? I have used a lot of dip products. I have used a lot from independent storefronts, from Amazon, companies like Gellen and other companies similar to Gellen. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is by far, especially for the value, the best dip kit that I have used to date. I know, I'm speechless myself. Gellen, thank you. You done it right, and I'm so incredibly happy you did. I would highly recommend that you grab this dip kit if you are looking to start, if you're a beginner and you don't know really where to begin, if you want to add to your collection, if you're obsessed with pastels and you need all the pastel things. The gel polishes, granted, I didn't have a chance to use them because I'm only one person. I will be using them in the future, however, because I really want to try them out. But as far as I can tell from the gel base and the gel top, the gels are probably magnificent, and they're coordinated to these pastel dips. So if you like a little bit of pastel nail art, I'm going to highly suggest you grab the gel liquids as well. If nothing else, the gel base and the gel top, if you like to do gel with your dip powder nails, or if you love a gel top coat, I would highly suggest. This is the cuticle oil that came with the kit. Normally, I'm not a rose person. I don't like much floral stuff to begin with, but the scent on this was very delicate and very soft. It wasn't an overpowering floral. It was actually really, really nice. I would use it again. And the consistency of the oil is different. It's almost like an oil gel. It didn't leak everywhere, which I very much appreciate. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks again to Gellen for sending over product and sponsoring the video. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you have a day that's as beautiful as you are, and I will catch you in the next one. Love you, bye.